Okay, here we go. So, remember, you have the Quizlet materials out there that you could be using to help you study for this. Okay, all you have to do is match the name to the formula. Okay, and the whole purpose of that is you want to get this right because you want to be able to see the word sum of a finite geometric and be able to grab the right formula. So it is really important that you do this part correctly. Okay, so let's see if I can get them matched. And again, I don't know what order they ended up on yours. It probably mixed it up differently than what is here. Okay, so the nth term of an arithmetic should be according to mine. Remember, nth term is going to be an a sub n. Arithmetic always has a difference in it, right? So it has to be answer choice D according to this one. Okay, but it should be this formula. You might want to just write the formula out. Okay, the sum of an arithmetic has to be an S sub n formula. Okay, actually it's not marked S sub n. It should be. Should have that in it. And it has, and it's so it would be one of these two. It's this one right here because the other one has R's in it, and R's are always geometric, right? Nth term geometric has to be an a sub n formula, and it has to have a ratio in it, so it's got to be E. Sum of a finite is going to have an n value in it, so the only other one with an S sub n is this one, and that one has R's in it, so that one has to be our finite one, so that's B. Infinite is the only one that doesn't have an n in it, so that has to be my A. And again, yours might be in a slightly different order than mine. Okay? Finite has an n. The only one that doesn't have an n is the infinite. Alright, we good? Yeah. So, in order to not kill you on this test, we hope you get this problem right. Each one of those is going to be 10 points, and that makes a total of 50 for the question. Notice the test was only out of 800 instead of 1,000, right? So we don't want to kill you on the first test, but we also don't want to we want to make sure you get a good grade. Okay? All right. We're supposed to write the first 5 terms of the sequence recursively. Okay. Oh, I don't have the right thing up. All right. So basically that's my first term, isn't it? Yeah. So then this says that to get the next term in line, I do -5 times the previous term. So to get a sub 2, I'm going to do -5 times 12. What's -5 times 12? -60. And then to get a sub 3, I do -5, and remember I put in the previous term. So what's 5 times 60? What is it? 300. Okay, and then a sub 4, we've got -5, put in the previous term. What do we end up with on that one? Anybody got it? You guys all have calculators. 1,500? Positive, -1,500. And then a sub 5 would be -5 times the -1,500, which gets me what? 7,500. Good. All right, we good on that one?
I have a question.
Yes.
What does the A mean? That's for x -5.
What does this mean?
Yeah.
So basically what's happening is to get, I put the 1 in here for the k. So to get my 1 plus 1 is 2. So to get my second term, put in my a sub 1 term. Whoa. Then I put in the 2 for the k, right? So to get the third term, 2 plus 1 is 3, I put in the second term. It's notation, and that's it. Okay, does that make sense? Ivan, you okay? Just put in the previous term. Okay? Yes, Lauren.
Why can't we use the first one, a plus whatever?
That
Plus 1. A, k plus 1.
they always have to give you the first term in order to do this recursively.
No, I'm talking about like that one because it says it's equal to it. So
A sub 1 is equal to 12. Right? And then there's a comma. And then a sub k sub plus 1 equals negative 5 times a sub k. All right. Put in the previous term.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
All right. At this point, let's not worry about the notation. We can deal with the notation later. Let's just know what to do on the problem. All right? And again, remember, this test is very, 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 very similar to the study guide. Basically, the numbers are changed, right? So you need to study the study guide. There are 2 ways to do this one. I'm going to show you both. Okay? The longer way is I take this number and I plug it in, right? And then I take 2 and I plug it in. And I take 3 and I plug it in until I get to 5. Okay, so let's try that. Okay? So we have, what's 4 times 1? So 4 minus 2 is my first one. Plus, let's see, 2 times 4 is 8. 3 times 4 is 12. 12 times, oh, sorry, not 12. 4 times 4 is 16. And 5 times 4 is 20. All right, what's 4 minus 2? 2 plus 4 minus 8, 6 plus 10 plus 14 plus, and then you hit the buttons on your calculator and you get 50. Good. The other way to do this, okay, and this, I think it came up, I don't know if it was in Kahoot, it might have been in the Kahoot that we did, okay, I think it was Kahoot. If that number here is big, which on this test, not likely, okay, but if it turns out to be something like 50, this is something that looks arithmetic. Okay, not geometric. If it was geometric, it would look more like the 3 times, like 3 to the n something. Okay, that's geometric. This is arithmetic. I'd use my sum for my arithmetic formula. So you can do s of 5 equals 5 over 2, and just put in the first term, which we learned was 2, and then just put in the 5, which is the last term, which we learned was 18. Let's see, 2 plus 18 is 20, isn't it? 2 into 20 10 times, I still get 50. Okay, so there is more than one way to do that one. You get to pick for the test.
What formula did you use?
This was the sum of an arithmetic. Okay? And it was because this was a subtraction or an addition in here. If it looked like this, I would have used geometric. Okay? All right, looking at the next one. It says to simplify. You're going to expand and cancel. All right, so I'm going to expand this 16 as far as what number?
10.
10. Good. So 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10 factorial. Then we've got 10 factorial. And I'm going to expand the 5 because I really don't know what that's going to... I don't have a factorial for that to go into. So 5, 4, 3, 2... I don't really need the 1. All right, now the fun part. We get to cross stuff out, right? All right, what goes away for sure? 10. All right, what is 5 times 3? 15, so that's going to go away. I don't see anything else good like that. 4 goes into 16 how many times? 4. Okay, could we go 2 into 4? 2 into 4, 2 times. So I'm left with 2 times 14 times 13 times 12 times 11. Go ahead and put that in your calculator and tell me what you get. 48,048. Good. All right, we're supposed to state whether the given sequence is arithmetic or geometric, or they might say neither. Okay, so it could be that too. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to check my common difference. If that doesn't work, I would check my common ratio. And remember, I want to check at least 3 terms, or 3 pairs. So I'm going to do 4 minus 2, the second minus the first. What do we end up with? 2. Okay. And then I'm going to do 6 minus 4, which is 2. And then we're going to do 8 minus 6, which is... So is it arithmetic? Yeah, so this one happens to be arithmetic. If that didn't work, I would check geometric. Okay. All right, looking at 6, I'm going to start by looking at my difference. So I say 4 minus 2 and I get 2. And then I do 8 minus 4 and I get... So is it arithmetic? No. Okay, so we've crossed that one off the list. Now I'm going to check my ratio. So my ratio is my second one divided by my first, which I get 2. And then I'm going to do my third one divided by my second one, and I get... Always check the third one, because sometimes it can go haywire at this third one. What do we end up with? 2 again. So is it geometric? If neither one of them works, then it's neither. Alright. We are going to write the first 5 terms. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do this with blanks. What's my first term? -2. 1, 2, 3, 4 more terms, right? Okay, so I've got to take -2 and I've got to multiply it by 1/2. What do I get? -1. And -1 times 1/2 is? -1/2 times 1/2 is? -1/4. -1/4 times 1/2 is? -1/8. Yes. Can we handle that?
I don't know.
I could make it harder.
Thank you.
I could make the ratio like 4/3. That would make it worse, right?
No.
Or like 75 over 83 or something like that. Okay. Alright. We're going to find the rule for the arithmetic sequence having the common difference of 4 and a sub 12 is 32. So on this one, you need to use a sub n twice. You might want to write that down. Use a sub n twice. Okay, that's the key to getting this one. This is probably, I don't think this one's very hard, but this is probably one of the harder ones on this test. Okay? So, because I don't know a sub 1. In order to find my rule, okay, because they want us to find a rule, I have to find a sub 1. Okay? So I'm going to start with this formula. The a sub n equals a sub 1 plus n minus 1 times the difference. If you don't know the formula, couldn't you go back to question 1? Yeah, and aren't all our formulas located in question 1? Hopefully you've matched it correctly and you know you need your nth term of an arithmetic and it's right there. Okay? So let me go back to, I don't know, we're in here somewhere. Not that one. Okay, so I'm doing that formula. I'm going to start by using this information here. So what am I going to put in for a sub n? 32. Good. What? And I don't know a sub 1. That's what I'm trying to find. Plus, what's my n value on that? 12. What's 12 minus 1? 11. Do I know the difference? What's the difference? 4. Good. So what is 11 times 4? 44. And I'm going to subtract the 44 to the other side. So what is a sub 1? -12. Now, that only gave me a sub 1. Did I find the rule? No. And likely it's multiple choice, so hopefully you would realize, oh, I need a formula, right? I need to put it back in. You're going to look for one that has a -12 in there, hopefully. Maybe.
So, all these are multiple choice?
Not all of them. There's a few that you have to write out. Okay? A sub n equals, what's my first term? -12 plus n minus 1. What's my difference? 4. And because I'm writing a rule, I'm not filling in the n. Okay? So we're going to distribute the 4 in. So we have -12 plus 4n minus 4. So 4n was -12 and -4. Good. So a sub n equals 4n minus 16. That's the rule that they're looking for. Yes. It's a formula, right? You wrote your own formula. It's a rule. Huh? Well. Alright, number 9. This term says nth. Okay, so look at this. They were very explicit. Nth term geometric. So here's what you do. You go back to question 1. and you look for your nth term in my geometric, I know it's e. I'm going to use that formula. Do you see how I matched it up with the words that were on the test to the words that are in the formula? So I know exactly which formula I'm using. So you have to make sure you can match those formulas up. All right, let's come down here. It wasn't that one. It was that one. All right, so I know I'm using the formula a sub n equals a sub 1 times r to the n minus 1. All right, what's my first term of this sequence? 2. Do I need to find the ratio? It says nth term, so I get to leave it as n minus 1. So all I have to do is calculate the ratio. How do I calculate the ratio?
Dividing the second one by the first one.
Good, so 4 divided by 2, which is? 2. Done. All right. Number 10 says, find the first 2 terms of an arithmetic sequence. Terms of an arithmetic, that means you want something that has to do with the term formula, which is a sub n is your term formula. Okay? Oh, they say the first 2 are given. Find the indicated term. I wasn't reading very carefully. So I've got to find the 20th term given those first 2 terms. Okay? So you're still using a sub n. Our a sub n formula is a sub 1 plus n minus 1 times the difference. All right, so what's going in for my n value? 20. So a sub 20. Remember, that just means I'm finding the 20th term. It has nothing to do with the rest of the problem, with the arithmetic part of the problem. What's my first term? 3. Good. N minus 1. What's 20 minus 1? 19. Now I need to calculate my difference. They gave me my first 2 terms, so I do the second term minus my first term, which gives me 6. Now it's a matter of punching buttons on the calculator. So go ahead, punch it all into the calculator. Tell me the final number you get.
117.
Check Lauren. Make sure she's right. We all agree with 117. Yeah? It's 117. All right. So on this one, the first thing you got to figure out is if you're arithmetic or geometric, okay? And then you'll know which formula to use, okay? So the first thing I'm going to test is my difference. So let's see, what's 10 minus 6? 4, okay? And then 14 minus 10 is 4, right? So does it look arithmetic? Yeah, it's looking arithmetic. Okay, so I know that I need my arithmetic sum formula. So again, I would go back to number 1. Oh, not that button. I would go back up here to number 1, and I would look for my arithmetic and my sum formula, which is C, and I'm going to use that formula right there. Okay? We're down in here somewhere. Oh, not that one. Okay, so I'm using S sub... Ooh, do I know my n value? I don't at this point. Okay, so I'm going to have to figure that out. Do I know my first term?
Yeah.
What is it? 6. Do I know my last term? What is it? 66. Now, here's something you could do. Could you figure out all the dots? Everything in between. You could figure out if you had to do it by hand, and you could count it up. If you miss counting one up, you're in trouble, and you're probably going to get the answer wrong. Okay? Or you go over by 1, you're going to get the answer wrong. So the safer way to do it is to use your a sub n formula. So I'm going to use my a sub n equals a sub 1 plus n minus 1 times the difference. But again, I could count up how many numbers there are. That is a valid way of doing it. So what is my a sub n value? 66. What's my first term? 6 plus, I don't know n. What's my difference that I calculated already? 4. Good. All right, I'm going to go ahead and distribute this in. So, ooh, at the same time I'm distributing in, watch this. Let's do some fancier algebra here. I guess I didn't really need to erase that. Could I move this 6 to the other side? Sure, how do I do that? Subtract. So what's 66 minus 6? 60. And then I'm going to distribute in 4n minus 4. I probably saved myself a line of work by doing that. What are we going to do to move the 4? Add it. What do you get? Equals 4n. And then n equals I like the teen. You have calculators. 16. You should know 4 times 16 is 64. Because what's 4 cubed? Isn't 16 4 squared, right? So you should know that one. Alright, so this we know is 16. 2 into 16, 8 times. What is 66 plus 6? 72. Okay, and then 8 times 72 is what? 576. Good job. This is the arithmetic sum, and you also needed your arithmetic A sub n. Alright. Look at the words in the problem. Determine whether the infinite geometric series, okay, has a sum. So the first thing I want to do is I want to go to locate my infinite geometric series formula. So there it says infinite geometric series, and that's the formula I need to use. Okay, so again, if you get those matched right, test should be pretty easy. You should have all the formulas there for you. Alright, so first thing I need to test is my ratio, right? I've already determined I'm using that formula, but I need to check my ratio because my ratio has to be between -1 and 1. And if it's not, then there's no sum. Alright, so I'm going to do my second term divided by my first term. What's my ratio turn out to be? 1/6. Good. So is it between -1 and 1? Yeah, so I'm going to keep going. What's my first term in the series? 36. 1 minus my ratio 1/6. Instead of writing 1, I'm going to write 6 over 6. So let's see. 36 over what? 5 over 6. Which you could put in your calculator. You're going to have your calculators open. Or you could go ahead and flip and multiply. So, and likely it won't be a decimal point answer. It will be left in fraction form. So what's 36 times 6? 216 over 5. Good job. Alright, we good with 12? Alright, now we need to expand. So we need to remember how to do Pascal's triangle. We'll review that really quick because you're not going to have it on the test. Okay, you have to recreate it. Alright? Your boxes were bigger, right? On the answer page, so you have space to recreate it if you need to. So, the first, we know that it's 1, 1, 1 at the top. What's that first real row that we've got there? If you know at least, you don't really need to write the top if you know 1, 2, 1, right? In fact, if you have one of the rows memorized, you can actually start from any row, right? What's the next row then? Remember, you add the digits above together. Okay, what row do I need to get to? 5th row. Okay, so what's my next row?
1, 4, 6, 4, 1.
Good. And you use that one enough that some of you might have that one memorized. So you just write that one down and then create the 5th row. What's your 5th row?
1, 5, 10, 10, 5, 1.
10, 10, 5, 1. All right, so those would be my first coefficients. So 1, 5, 10, 10, 5, 1. And then I'm going to write out 2x and -3. 2x and -3. And notice, we're not giving you one of the nice ones where you don't have, like, where you just have an x and a y. You're going to have something else extra here to do. 2x and -3. Alright, what's the first exponent on the 2x? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. And then the first exponent on the 3 on the right is? 5, right? 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. What should each pair of exponents add up to? 5. That's kind of your check to make sure you did it right. Make sure they all add up to 5. Okay? All right. What is 2 to the 5th? 32x to the 5th. All right. I'm leaving some space in there for scratch work in case I need it. What is 2 to the 4th? 16 times 5 times negative 3 is negative what? You have calculators. Negative 240. All right, what is 2 cubed? 8. And then negative 3 squared is 9. So 8 times 9, 72 times 10 is 720x cubed. All right, 2 squared is 4. Negative 3 cubed is? Good. So let's see. 4 times 10 times negative 27 is what? 1080. Okay. Negative 3 to the 4th is? 81 times 10, right? 5 times 2 is 10, so what do you get for that one? 810 with an x after it. And then this term, the x goes away. What is negative 3 to the 5th? Good. Likely on that one, what we will ask you to do is it's probably not going to be multiple choice, but it'll be one where we're going to read your answer off your paper and you're not going to type anything in. Okay? I don't want to mess with that. I don't know. If maybe we'll have you type it in as optional. Okay? And then I'll look at your paper if you don't get it typed in. Okay? Because I know you guys know how to use the equation editor, right? So that one actually wouldn't be too bad. All right, let's look at the next one here. We have to expand. We have to go to the 4th row. So we just went to, let's go from the 3rd row. We know the 3rd row is 1, 3, 3, 1, right? What's the 4th row? Good. All right, so I'm going to write those as my coefficients. So 1, 4, 6, 4, 1. And then we write I and negative 4, and 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 I and negative 4. What exponent do I put on the first I to the left? 4. Then I count down 3, 2, 1, 0. And what exponent do I put on the 4 that's at the rightmost? 4, and I count down 3, 2, 1, 0. Double check, make sure all my exponents pairs add up to 4. What is I to the 4th? It is 1. Okay, I'm going to leave myself some space. So that whole first term is 1. I cubed, negative I. So I've got 4 times negative I times 4 is? Positive 16I. I squared is what? Negative 1. Negative 4 squared is?
16.
So you've got 6 times negative 1 times 16. I think it's 96. Double check me.
It's 96.
Is it 96? Okay. All right. I to the first is just I. What's negative 4 cubed? Negative 64 times 4 times I. Good. And then I to the 0 is going to be 1. What's negative 4 to the 4th? 256. And at this point, we get to combine some like terms. So let's see. I'm going to put together the 1, the negative 96, and the positive 256. And what do we get for that?
161.
Good. And then 16i and negative 256i is? Negative 240i.
That's 161.
Yep.
What does I to 30?
Negative I. You want me to write that out real quick? So I to the 0 is 1. I to the first is I, right? I squared is -1, I cubed is -I, and I to the 4th is 1. So that's where it repeats, right? So if you went further than that, this is the same as I to the 5th, I to the 6th, I to the 7th. And it's probably not going to get bigger than 2 cycles, right? I'm not going to, probably won't even get bigger than 5. If I'm guessing right, I don't know. I haven't looked back at the test in a week or so, but. Okay, let's look at the last one here. We need to simplify, so we're going to go ahead and expand our factorial there. How far do I expand the 15? 11, so 15, 14, 13, 12, 11 factorial. Those cancel, so you multiply those numbers together, and what do we get? 32,760. Good. Okay, so in addition to you studying for the test, well, first of all, what's the best way to study for the test?
Watch the video.
Okay, watch the video. Hopefully Mrs. Ballard puts the video up, right?
Hopefully.
Last week on the AB test, I forgot one of their videos, so yeah, it was okay because it didn't have any sound to it anyways. So yours has sound. The microphone's been on.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure. And besides, I have 2 chances on yours, right? On AB, I only have 1 class, so theirs is all or nothing. So you should retry the study guide how many more times?
17.
At least 2, right? Because hopefully you've done it at least once at this point. You have the practice test. Put your old study guide away. Try it off the practice test again, right? You're allowed to do it like 10 times on the online, okay? And it'll check it for you to tell you what you're doing right and wrong. And then your notes are due tomorrow. So what I want everybody to do is I want you to go in your notebooks. So right now with me in your notebook, okay? Open your notebook. Is it page 3 or 4? I don't have right. No, I want to look at the front of your notebook. So right now, look in the front of your notebook. Here it is. I want you on page 5. So we're going to use the second notebook grade checklist. That's for semester 2. So it should be blank right now on page 5. Write your last name and your first name up there right now so I don't have to flip a million pages to find your name. Okay? And then you can write the turn-in date would be 1/18. You need to make sure, if you want to write the page numbers in there, that's where I need your help a little bit. Where did we start?
139.
Lauren says 139. Do we agree with her? Okay, so we started at 139. Where did we end? Is it 150?
Yeah.
Okay, so we ended at 150. Okay. And then remember, you need to make sure you update your table of contents. That's something you could spend a few minutes doing right now. You need to put the little pink sticker on page 139, right? And then you also need to make sure your summaries are done and you have 2 questions or comments per set of notes out in the left-hand column. Okay? Sound good? All right, I'm going to hit stop on this thing.